Hello, today I was driving down the road and I saw where bags, many bags, had been of mulch had been laid out along this median for the beds that are in the median, and I was just surprised at the amount of bags of mulch that were there. A lot of people do not understand how to mulch. Most of the people who are mulching your commercial or residential landscape have no idea how to mulch. So I'm going to share something so that you can, one, save money. What is the purpose of mulch? Well, purpose of mulch is to do two things. One is to, especially when the plant is initially planted, to retain moisture, keep the sun from hitting the soil, dry it out immediately, right? And two is to keep the weeds down. Now, as time goes by, what most people don't understand is as your plants grow, they create shade that shades out where weeds would grow, right? All those weeds that grow out in your lawn, they're not growing in the shade of your azalea plant, okay? I mean, occasionally there'll be something like, let's say you haven't done a sufficient job of, let's say you have, for example, St. Augustine sod, and that St. Augustine will have runners and it'll run up and come out the top of your azalea. It just keeps on running. Okay, and it's depending though not on the soil. Obviously, it's growing right up 2 feet, 3 feet, or whatever up the plant, and it's going for sun, but it's getting its water from the parent or from the where the roots are in the ground. So most people, I'm afraid, don't really understand mulch. Many people don't mulch at all. But if you are mulching, the main purpose is to keep the weeds back. And you don't want to mulch too thick because then you have a problem with that being too moist, etc., getting fungus or other kind of diseases into your mulch and around your plant. So you don't want to do 2 or 3 inches is what you're supposed to do. And once your plant has grown, you don't mulch. I don't mulch around the plants in my house. If I'm going to mulch anywhere around a plant, it's going to be between my edge line of my sod and where the plant canopy comes. So, sometimes I'm, maybe edging 6 inches, maybe a foot, but probably more like 6 inches away from the ground cover or whatnot to give a break. And I dress it with mulch. And the purpose of that is, once again, to keep weeds from popping up there, right? and also just to dress up the look of the landscape. Most people want to dress up their landscape. Now, what I find too often, I'll drive by and see guys put mulch out all the time. And what are they doing? They're taking shovels and they're just throwing it up into the beds. That means this mulch is falling down anywhere. They're not controlling where the mulch goes. That means the mulch goes next to the plant. Let me show you something. This right here is my typical specification, my typical detail for mulching a plant when it's installed. If you look right there, you'll see there's no mulch over the root ball. There's a note over here saying no mulch over the root ball. And the reason for that is you don't want to mulch up next to the next to the plant. Trees particularly, I'll drive by trees and I have that volcano look up to the tree. It's way up higher than it's supposed to be. This mulch should not be, one, even touching the bark of your tree, number one. Okay, so all those people who are out there doing that are doing it wrong, because why? That holds moisture, etc., up next to the bark of the tree. You don't want to do that. It can create the possibility for disease, etc. So keep the mulch away from, when I'm mulching around a tree or something, I'm going to keep, like I have some small trees I planted in the backyard for fruit and whatnot. I'm keeping, I'd like to keep it a lot further, but initially I'm keeping that at least 3 inches from the trunk of these little bitty 1.5 inch trunks, right? At least 3 inches away. You should be keeping your mulch away from the trunk of trees. Okay, that's just the way it works. So as I drove down the road, I saw this. It's an 8 foot wide median or something like that, and the island. Let's say it's 10 foot wide, and the beds are like 20 feet long. Well, that's 200 square feet of mulch at 3 inches deep. That's probably what's in these people's heads. 3 inches deep, 200 square feet. They got a whole lot of bags out there. Where in reality, for most of these plants, well, for one thing, there are grasses in this median. Now, these grasses are taken up, Spartina, etc. Anyway, love grass, etc. If you look at the base of the grass, it's taken up that much room. That's a lot of room. Every one of those grasses, about a foot. That means every square foot of those grasses there's no place to put a mulch. You can't put it into the middle of the grass, right? So they've got 200 square feet of mulch and they've got, maybe at least 50 feet of these grasses, square feet of these grasses. That means what? Automatically, they don't need but 150 square feet of mulch, right? If they're installing new, okay? However, they don't need that much because now there are some beds where the canopy of the shrubs, they're like 2 or 3 feet tall, and they're very thin canopies. I can see where sun can get through those canopies, and maybe weeds might grow because of that. But a lot of the other things, like let's say you have a India hawthorn, that's a tight, thick canopy kind of shrub. There's no plants, or an azalea. There's no shrub, not a lot of weeds growing underneath that. So there's no point in pushing mulch, throwing a shovelful or several shovelfuls on top of your azalea and letting it fall through the azaleas. That doesn't work. Probably all you need to do is come within and just put up let's say your azalea is 3 feet wide. So maybe you put mulch six inches into underneath the canopy of which would be pushing it underneath your canopy, right? You don't dump mulch on top of that azalea and put it right on top of the stem or the main trunk of the azalea or anything. That's not good. So I wanted to share that with you. Make sure. Let's see if there's a. Oh, and one last thing. You probably don't need, when you're dressing, if you have a bed that continually gets mulch put in it, it's got mulch. I mean, I appreciate that the mulch is deteriorating and slowly becoming soil, but that's a very slow process. So you don't have to every spring put on 3 inches of mulch. Take a look at what you got there. It's very likely that what you have, in fact, in some cases, let's say these trees that they put these pyramids around, they probably need to dig out a lot of that stuff. If it's turned into soil, then it should be dug away from the tree, probably, because it's a soil going up well above the, what do you call it? There's a term for it, where the tree comes out. There's a term for that, and it's not coming to mind immediately. Anyway, where your roots come out. Nothing should, wherever that curve goes where the roots are going out from the plant, once you get to that point where it starts curving up, you shouldn't be having any mulch anywhere past that as it goes into the or soil. And a lot of people plant their trees, they're planted too deep, and they have soil above that that area of the, and I wish I could remember it. But anyway, so you may only need to dress your bed just for appearances, or just to make sure the mulch is maintained. That might just be an inch worth of mulch, so an inch or two tops, not 3 inches, certainly not 4 inches or anything like that. So there it says, the mulch is out here. Here's the root ball. There's nothing around that shrub's base. Don't mulch the base of your shrub. Don't throw shovelfuls of mulch over your beds. Don't take your bag of mulch and shake it out over the top of your shrubs. Take a moment, put it where you need it. Don't overdo it. I hope that's helpful for you. Have a good day.